Yo, what is the deal,
What's
nation?
happening? What's happening, man? What's going on?
We are back. We're ready to go ahead and bring another five show. So, without further ado, let's hit it. Junkies, Raider Rundown. Appreciate you, my guy, Cheeto Linus. Appreciate you, guy, Chris, Protect the Shield. Good morning, brother. How you doing? My guy, Queen Tick Raider, Raider Legion. What is good?
Hey, what up?
What up, Lo? What is good? What is good? None other than our guy. Yo,
What's going
what
on, man? What's
is
happening?
up, Raider Nation? Salute to everyone already here. Welcome to another installment of Good Morning Raiders. We're your hosts. I'm Jay Raider. This is my guy, the Raider Rundown. Back again, like the dynamic duo, to bring you another fresh episode with very, very special guests this
As
morning.
always,
So,
man,
yes,
we keep it
sir.
rotating, man. We keep it rolling as we do every Saturday with fire guests and another one this weekend, man. So make sure everybody tapping on that like button. Appreciate everybody for waking up, man, and tapping in with us, man, on the dry season, as you know.
Yep, exactly. It is the dry season, but hey, we're still making fire content nonetheless,
Yes,
for
sir.
sure. But yeah, man, let's go ahead and get into it. We have a lot to talk about. Um, really quick, let's go ahead and give a quick shout out to the chat. Everybody already here. Shout out to Paul in the building. Good morning,
No,
brother.
no.
Appreciate you tapping in from Bakersfield. Uh, hopefully you were at the summer kickoff. If I didn't meet you, I'm sorry, but hopefully we get a link up soon. Shout out to Jeffrey. Appreciate you pulling up, my guy. Frank Weber, what it do? My guy Dixon Sider, what it do, brother? Thanks for pulling up, my guy. Willie Wayne, what it do,
What's
brother?
going
Thanks for
on?
pulling
What's
up.
going on?
My guy Space Beast in the
Space
building.
Beast. Hey,
What's
man,
the
man. Hey,
hap,
you
bro?
see it, man. Hey,
There you
courtesy
go.
of Space Beast in the building, man. Appreciate
Oh
you, big
yeah.
dog.
Good looking for sure. Shout out
Man, you
to
not fucking
Andrew in the
lying,
building.
dog. You know
Yeah.
you just not fucking lying, dog. It's
Hey,
hot.
it's hot over here already, bro, and I'm a little bit I'm in the Southwest, so
Bro.
it gets spicy over here for sure.
This
Um,
shit right here, bro. This shit hotter than an undercover cop in the club, motherfucker. This shit is bad, bro. I'm telling you, this shit is bad. Terrible.
terrible, man. I know I gotta turn on my AC pretty soon. I'm waiting. But let's go ahead and bring out our next guest. You know this man. He has a show with our guy Chris Protect the Shield. They do their Raider
Mhm.
Nation roll call, and then also they do their weekly wire. as well. So let's go ahead and bring out none other than our guy, Dub Raider. Appreciate you, my guy, pulling up. What it
Man,
do?
what's going on,
How you
Big
doing this
Dub?
morning, man?
How's it going, my brothers? Thanks for having me this morning. You know,
Hey.
I am I'm very happy to be here. You know, I was excited since Jay, we met in person finally at summer kickoff.
Yep.
You know, I had this jotted down on my calendar, ready to rock. Told my kid, don't bother me for the next hour and a half because we're gonna be busy.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, you already know what time it is, man. Of course, love what you do with the family, Chris, and all that, with the weekly wire. But I really love the roll calls, man. You know what I mean? Just putting the spotlight on all the Raider Nation, man, and some of the guests you didn't have. And I love the way, you know, you go about it, do it in different settings and all that, man. So you be doing your thing, man. Definitely, definitely respect to you.
Thank you. You know, I try to accommodate for everybody, and you know, not everybody's the same. So,
Definitely.
Yeah, if you guys haven't done so, make sure you guys head on over to our guy's channel. I have his link pinned down below in the description. Go ahead and give him a quick sub. Again, he does his show with Chris Protect the Shield, and then you also have your Raider Nation roll call that you do on your own as well. So, fire content coming from our guy here, Dub Raider. So, and then of course, as for us, make sure you guys also go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button on our channels as well. Just costs you nothing. It's free, totally free. So make sure you guys tap in, turn on notifications, because we do have fire guests coming up the next 5 weeks. I'm all booked up for June. I'm already booking up July. So we are a hot item at the moment.
We're working.
We're gonna bring in really cool guests on. So that is in the haps. So let's go ahead and go into the show, because we do have a good amount of things to talk about today. Obviously, we have week 2 of OTAs. So we're in our second week of OTAs.
Yep.
Lot of some news that came out of it. Not a lot, but some news did come out of it that we're going to go ahead and start tapping into. But really quick, let me go ahead and share some videos of OTAs that I already have kind of bookmarked here. Let's see. Here we go. All right. So, guys, working out here.
Oh yeah. Let's see what we got, man. At the end of the day, man, you know, we do got to preface this before we do start this, right? You know, we hearing these good things, this and that, but it's somewhat still shorts and shirt. You feel what I'm saying? It's not all the way real football yet. So keep that and preface this in mind.
Yep. Got our guy Max. I think 51 is we're gonna talk about 51 in a little bit, but I'm glad to see him out there. And then we also got some other footage.
Good energy. You see Colton out there. Look, Colton is there. You feel me?
Yep.
That's nice.
Did Wilkins show up?
Now, I wanted to talk about that because, and I forgot to get it to you, Jay, but it's all right though, because we can still talk about it. Now, you know, Tashawn, damn, it's Reed. What was his name? Reed? Tashawn? Yeah, Reed. Yeah, Tashawn Reed. And Ted Wynn, right? You know, they have their podcast, and they speak about it. And, you know, Tashawn is there. Now, get to speaking. You know, he says when the D line is running to different groups, and this is recent in OTAs, when the D line is supposed to be running to different groups, you can tell he's not comfortable. He's not really running. He's ginger. You can tell he's not trying to do something, or something don't feel right. Look, I know some people want to push it off, but it's like, dog, that's not good, bro. It's not good. That's a big dude. You feel what I'm saying? That's a huge human being. And if this man ain't ready by training camp, dog, it's gonna linger. You not like I can Speaking from just sport experience, dog, anybody that's just a bigger type of person, dog, that shit will linger. You don't get healthier as the season continues. So at the end of the day, bro, like he's got to start getting healthy now, or that shit's going to be a lingering problem. And by weeks, whatever, we're going to be like, well, why the hell Christian Wilkins ain't doing X, Y, and Z? Well, it's because he ain't getting no training camp or whatever the case. So let's just hope it's not that. Let's just hope it doesn't get to that, and we being cautious right now. But that's a hit. If he's not on the field, dog, that's a hit. But then we get 51 back, which is good. You know what I mean? So that's good.
Yep. So let's go ahead and talk about it. As we saw on that clip, the return of Malcolm Koonce. So great to see him back in practice.
Right.
You know, I think this is really good news, especially with what you just touched on, the whole Christian Wilkins injury and how it's kind of looking right now. So, you know, having Malcolm back at OTAs, I think is a really good indicator that his rehab went really, really well. So, what are our thoughts? How are we feeling about Malcolm back, having the complementary side to Max? I'll start with you, Dub.
Well, anything that or anyone that helps the D-line be stronger, create more pressure, it's always a good thing for us, especially having the season that we did last year. You know, we need all the help we can get. Malcolm, you know, did definitely do some good work before he got hurt, you know, but now I'm more of a pessimist than an optimist. I try to be realistic with certain situations because I know that when individuals come back, they don't come back exactly the same. You know, there's always some, I guess, grace period or warming up period to get back into the game. So am I expecting Koonce to be exactly what we expected him to be? Of course not. You know, there's going to be some time, you know, but I do definitely feel that the defensive line is going to get a lot better, you know, because usually all the pressure is based on Max. They try to cover him. So I think Koonce is definitely going to get more opportunities, you know, as long as he stays healthy. And that's the key thing with the Raiders. It's being healthy. You know, last year definitely showed us that, you know, when it rains, it pours.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it was a horrible thing to watch, you know, because I'm pretty sure you guys were the same as me. The off season before last season, you know, we saw everybody that we were picking up, and you know, everybody talking that, you know, the Raiders defense was going to be, you know, elite, and you know, we were going to cause havoc. And then what happened? Injury, injury, and then what happened? We became a mid to low team when it came to defense. You know, so now when I hear stuff like, yeah, Malcolm Koonce is back, I'm like, that's great, but that's just it. Let's not get overly excited. I'm happy that he's back. I'm happy that you know, he's going to bring his abilities and his strengths back to the team. But I'm still weary. You know, I'm not trying to get too excited.
I feel that. I definitely feel that. For me, I'm happy he's back for sure. You know what I mean? It's definite that, but you know, I've said this for I don't know how long. We have to get that season from 2 years ago. Those 8 games that everybody hangs their hat on, that has to be there for 17 games. Definitely. So far up to this season, it's like you're speaking like different code. It's like you're speaking some type of nasty language when you say this, but he has not given us a full season of that. Right. It's not negative to say that. It's truth. It's truthful.
Fact.
And at the end of the day, bro, like we have to see that. Not only do we have to see that, we need to see that, bro. Like this team is all dependent on that D line. I've been telling people that. Hey Jay, how long have I been telling people that? I'm gonna say it till the cows come home, bro, till the season starts, dog.
Yeah.
If this D line is not good, we are screwed, dog. We're screwed. We don't have the horses and hogs in the second and third level right now. It's question marks in the third level. It's a bunch of rookies and unproven motherfuckers. We know what the linebacker is. at the end of the day, bro, like this D line has to eat. Right now, I'm already weary because one of the main pieces on that mug is not practicing right now, right? So that's already one where I'm like, shit. And now here come the next one who's coming off a major injury, which at the end of the day, I'm glad he's back out there, but there's no ifs, ands, or buts. There is no grace period given to Kuntz, dog. Like he has to perform. There is no other way. Or somebody else gonna have to do it. That's just how it's gonna have to be this year. Because again, if Max ain't eating, if he ain't eating, dog, if we don't get one of these rookies that we drafted to eat, like it's all for naught. But I think it's all hindered upon how Max and Kuntz play. I think that's how it's gonna go. Them two gonna have to set the tone, and then everybody else gonna follow suit.
Yeah, facts. For me, I'm happy he's back, but like you said, this is his prove it year, so he has to perform. That we have to see something from him, and and like you said, it's almost dependent that we have him on the other side, right? Especially if Malcolm's not going to be. I mean, especially if Christian's not going to be available, either later in the season or at some point something happens, or hopefully, God forbid, the injury gets re-aggravated or something could possibly happen. We definitely need that presence on the other side, right? And kind of still touching on that, Christian Wilkins subject. We'll get into it a little bit later too, but luckily at this point with the trenches, we do have options, right? We went out and drafted Taka Hemingway, JJPE, so there is some backup into that D tackle position, right? And we'll go ahead and kind of chop it up, and I'll get you guys' take on possibly going out and acquiring another D tackle, veteran D tackle, for that insurance for Christian Wilkins in case he's not able to go ahead and start the season, or he's not able to make another season. But I mean, I'm glad he's back. Hopefully we see a lot of good stuff from him. If we see a repeat from 2 years ago, man, I think we're going to be really, really good shape in the trenches wise. But also, like you just touched on, Run, that secondary, right? So we have some questions now. I'm going to go ahead and bring up this part, and I touched on it on my show on Thursday. I have a little clip of DB coach Marcus Robertson on the DB room and kind of what he assesses so far on what he's seen at OTA. So let me go ahead and pull that up real quick. There we go. All right.
And Porter and how he kind of mimics Richard Sherman with his attributes, his height and speed. What do you think of him so far early on?
Oh, well, I'm an Iowa State alumni, so I love the pick. I love the guy. I think he's got a lot of physical gifts. He's got the length, the speed. So he is taking, to me, big leaps, like from 1 week to the next, as far as the coaching and the training and all those type of things, simply because of the fact that he just moved over, but basically from being a wide receiver to the defense side of the ball late in his career in college, and is making tremendous jumps, in my opinion. He's got a chance to be a really good player.
Pete Carroll obviously has a long history of forming good defenses and specifically great DB rooms like the Legion of Boom. How does that just raise the bar for a coach like you to meet that standard?
Well, what's interesting is obviously I had opportunity to watch that and study that defense for years, and to be a part of seeing how Pete built that Legion of Boom. It's just interesting. It's real interesting. So I'm excited. I'm up for the challenge, and I'm hoping that we can mimic to a certain degree some of their success that they had in their secondary. And like I said, I think the most important thing is that everybody's buying in, and you can see the change. You can feel the culture changing around here, and I take my hat off to Pete Carroll I think he's doing an amazing job.
With that being said, real quick, Jacorian Bennett was having a heck of a season last year, and then ended the season due to injury. What are you seeing from him in particular, especially going into year 3?
So his biggest issue is that he is still coming off the injury, so kind of a little bit of a slow start coming back off the injury, but he's stepping up. He's doing well, just working with the techniques and things of that nature. So, if you know Pete Carroll defense, he's got a certain technique for his corners to be able to stay on top in the cover 3 stuff. So just trying to master their craft in that regard. And it's going to take some time, but he's working his butt off. And so is the Camrian. He's going to be solid for us. So I'm just hoping that this off-season training camp will continue to grow and continue to become ultimately a dominant secondary. Obviously, with hopefully with our pass rush and all the combinations of things.
All right.
Can I be honest off that video, man? I'm gonna take it off real quick, bro. I don't like what I heard about Jacorian Bennett. I don't like it. I don't give a damn, bro. And salute to my guy Shavir in the chat, man. I see all my people up in here, man. I was hoping Chris being here for that part. I was hoping either Chris or Leo be here for that.
Yeah.
We be arguing about Jacorian, but I don't like what I heard, dog. I don't. When the first thing you start with is he's getting off an injury and he's got to work himself out, and you tell me if anything you heard off of that was positive. Nothing you heard was positive. All I heard was he got to work off his injury and he's still trying to get a hold of the scheme. That's what I heard, right? So at the end of the day, cool. But I've heard a lot of positive stuff about Eric Stokes, though, right? I've heard a lot of positive stuff about what guy we just drafted, right? Darian Porter, right? Even some people trying to big up DeCamerion Richardson, which I kind of hope that he actually does work out. Because if he does and Darian Porter work out, well, damn, look at our corner room now. Like we got one of the bigger, most athletic corner rooms in the league if them two work out. So, but where I always get to struggling, I've always asked this question, and this is not trying to hate, but at the end of the day, I still want to know, one, when is Jacorian Bennett going to give us a full healthy season? Because ever since we've drafted him in 2 years, he's not finished the season. Say what you want, but he ain't finished the season. I got on Nate Hobbs about that. I'd be damned if I won't say that about Jacorian Bennett. So then number 2, right? And then number 2 off that, where does he fit in the mold of a Pete Carroll corner? You let me know. Where? Because the outside corner of Pete Carroll looks like Darian Porter or looks like Eric Stokes or maybe looks like DeCamerion Richardson. Don't look like Jacorian Bennett. Where is he going to fit is my question, right?
So do you think he's on the outs?
I don't know if he's on the outs, but I'd say I think they're trying to figure something out. Because I remember one week where I'm just, we doing a random weekly show and I see him at slot, right? I see him in slot. Now it was just 1 week, right? And then they switched him back again to outside. But that, to me, I still hold on to that where it's like, bro, they're trying to figure out what's the best avenue. Because at the end of the day, we all, like everybody said it during the draft, right? Like, oh yeah, Pete Carroll likes big corners. But then when it came to Jacorian Bennett, everybody was like, nobody cared, bro. He don't have the measurables either.
If you don't talk about it, it won't be an issue.
Yeah, bro. He don't have the measurables either. So it's like that. My eye is on that. I don't know if they're looking to trade him or whatever. I don't know about that. But as of right now, I would say they're trying to figure something out. I think they're trying to figure something out about where he's gonna fit. Where's the best fit for him?
Right. Facts. I agree. I mean, I hope that Darian Porter really, really works out. And I mean, having him here that, the guy's taking, big leaps forward is a really good thing, especially just being in the position. I think this is like his second year in the corner position. Literally switched up from receiver. So having him, his learning curve is really, really, really good. I mean, that's the best that we can hope for. I would love to see Jacorian be healthy for a full season and really, really, really take possibly the CB1 position. Because if he doesn't, I mean, we're gonna be in trouble for real.
I think that for him personally, and I want to get Dub take on that. I think that dream of him being CB1 is dead. For me, it's dead because we got Darian Porter now. So for me, and looking at Darian Porter, knowing that he's only played 2 years of corner, seeing that athletic skill and seeing where he's at, like, no, I'm not even trying to just gas him up because he's a Raider dog, but like if he actually gets it together, he has like top 10 corner athletic ability.
Oh, yes.
He really does. It's not trying to gas him up because he's a Raider. Like, there's no doubts. Has his traits, dog, what he can do, right? And just being so short playing at this position, right? Like, dog, he sky's the limit for real. And I see what they see at the end of the day. So I understand why Pete and them can say, yeah, this dude can be one of them ones. But with Jacorian, the ceiling seems limited, in my opinion. I mean, I just would like to get y'all opinion.
No, it's definitely I agree with what you're saying. Is, you know, he's already had a few years in the league, played at an elite level, and he's just not doing it. You know, he gets injured. You know, there's always an issue, and like what you were mentioning, they're moving him around to see what would be a better fit for the organization before I'm feeling they either trade him or give him the boot. You know, which in our case, with the majority of our positions, we need that depth. Right. So, and that's where I think the mindset is like, we can't get rid of him because we need players in positions. But if he's not cutting it, and we got Porter in the wings, even though, you know, he just he's been doing the position for 2 years, but he was doing it at the college level,
right?
And what I try to, at least in my mindset, what I try to let individuals know is that the college level, yes, you know, there's really good players, but in the NFL, it's the best of the best. So you might be, you know, an amazing player in college, but you're playing against, you know, mid players, playing against scholarship players, you know, individuals that are just there for their education, and of course the elites. But then you get to the NFL, and you're playing the best of the best. Are you going to be able to handle that? And that's where I'm always kind of scared every offseason, you know, because they talk up these college players. Oh, he did this, he did that. You know, they show the highlight reels. I'm like, yeah, but it's not against the cream of the crop like there is in the NFL. You know, and yeah, there are some players that it comes easy to them. You know, they are ballers, and when they get to the NFL, they kick ass. But I'm always very skeptical about situations like that. So I'm hoping for the best, you know, that we're able to keep both of them, that we're able to utilize both of them, you know, that they stay healthy, you know, more importantly, you know, and that, you know, we can have success with both of them on the team.
Right. Yeah, for me, I'm agreeing with Severe, man. I think he's got to go to slot. If it's Jacorian Bennett, he's got to go to slot. That's where he fits to me in the Pete Carroll mold in defense. Like, it's like we have all these big corners. It makes no sense, right, to have all these big corners, right, and then you're just gonna play somebody that's not as big on the outside, and the skills are comparable. It makes zero sense. You can't say, oh man, well, you know, JB is fast, so we're gonna put him on the outside. Well, so is Eric Stokes, and so is DeCamerion Richardson. They're both fast. So then what's the difference, right? There's no difference now. And we could say, yeah, we like what we saw last year, but last year was a different scheme. We know that this scheme now this year is different, right? Coming in with Pete Carroll. So then he has to change that. So we just don't know. I think the fit is probably for the slot for sure. I think that's where he should go. Now, this is my problem, though. We've already seen him getting injured, and in the slot requires more physicality, right? So you're going to have to tackle more. And we've already seen him getting injured on the outside. So getting in on the outside, now you got to go to the inside. We'll see how that goes right there. But for me, the corner room is just question marks. I don't think anybody. I'm not sitting here like, oh man, this dude's not good. I'm not sitting here saying that. It's more along the lines of saying like, I need to see how it's gonna go. I'm already of the mindset of saying like, I think Darian Porter can grow and become one of them guys, but the growing pains is gonna be on display. Starting it off, right? I'm not even going. I'm already of that mindset. We got to go Now, New England, we got to see what happens. But if everything ends up shaking out, he got to see Stephon Diggs week 1. For my first task in the NFL to see Stephon Diggs, it's not no easy feat. I don't care what nobody tells me, bro.
Yeah.
So you got to do that. Chargers, I don't think they really have no receiver that I really care about. Nobody that's going to strike no fear into my heart. You feel what I'm saying? I mean, he don't got to deal with Lab McConkey, but as the season continues, he's got to see some receivers. Like he's got to see some guys. Shit, we go to Washington immediately. He's got to. There's no hiding from it. You feel what I'm saying? He's got to see either Terry McLaurin or Deebo Samuel, one of the two, right? You feel what I'm saying? So as the season continues, bro, he's gonna get a lot of tests as it goes. I'll be imploring people, bro, just let him get through the growing pains. He's playing one of the harder positions to come into the league and understand. And it's only year 3 of him playing it. So we'll see. But I think we'll see flashes, though. I'm interested in DeCameron Richardson or Eric Stokes. Because, again, if they can get D-Cam playing a certain way, bro, our corner room looks different. They're both 6-something, 6'3", run a 4-3, right? Like, there's not much you can do with that. Like, you're going to have to fit the ball into tight windows. And look at our safeties. You feel what I'm saying? Our safeties are huge, too. So then look at the whole secondary as a whole, bro. They're all damn near 6'3", 6'4", and run out and jump out the gym.
Freaking giants.
We would be crazy. Bro. We would have a crazy ass secondary if he ends up working out. If Eric Stokes ends up working out, so my hope is for one of them for sure.
Yeah, for me, I don't know if Porter becomes CB1 this year. I think that's definitely. It's in the way. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope this kid just balls out and really dials in this position, right? And gets up to speed. And like you said, I mean, he got his test right off the bat. There's only maybe that Charger game that's really want to have a little bit of a break, but it's literally Patriots, then Chargers. Then you got Commanders, literally perennial contender.
Gotta get that
right off the bat. Yeah, you got to get that. So he'll be tested for sure. So I'm glad to hear that he's progressing. He's starting to go ahead and really get that position dialed in. I mean, if Jacorian, if it's really going to be him in the slot, I mean. Yeah, it's going to be. I feel it's going to be a little bit tough for him, especially with his injuries and his injury history. So we'll see how that kind of works out. But I really hope that the secondary really does well. Right? I think at this point I could say just well, unless we go out and get a veteran presence or somebody out there that really can go ahead and take charge. And
I just looked at the schedule again, not even to cut you off, but damn, God, he got Stephon Diggs. You get a break for week 2, but then you got Terry McLaurin, and then you got to see Roma Dunze and all them with the Bears after that. So, bro, that is tough. That's tough.
Yeah.
It's trial by fire.
Trial by fire. And I think going out and drafting this kid at 3rd round, I mean, it says a lot. So you have faith in him. They see a potential. I don't want to say Richard Sherman 2.0, but it's probably something beyond that because he is that talented. He is that special. So hopefully, I think we'll see good things from Darian Porter, and hopefully Stokes comes along as well. But I think the key thing here is having Jacorian really stay healthy for this next season. Having a full complete season it is really a thing that we're going to be looking out for and really counting on, especially not really having a slot guy available. So
looking at this list, man, it gets nasty, right? Because and then you're looking at it like most of these dudes are outside guys, right? And that's not even counting the slot dudes that you're gonna have to see, right? Because then you don't even put he didn't even put Lab McConkey on here. And as of right, I ain't gonna cap. Like the outside dudes, I'm not worried about, but I'm scared to death about our slot corners and playing the Chargers. We're going to get cooked because as of right now, dog, I don't know nobody that's going to be able to stay with Lab McConkey on our squad. I don't see it. We was already getting cooked last year. You feel what I'm saying? And we had Nate Hobbs in certain situations. So I don't know how that's going to go. Now, this is the question. I don't know if this was the next segment, but this is the question that everybody was posing, right? I might be getting a little ahead of it, but we already here on the DBs. Jalen Ramsey, right? Post June 1st, after today, we can, it can start to be a reality of saying, do we go to get him, right? Pretty much
tomorrow.
after this. Yeah, tomorrow. So I see some people say no. I see some people say yeah. I mean, what's y'all takes on it before?
Well, let me ask you because I know right now he's asking for a buttload of money.
Right.
And I know that there is going to be a drastic drop in the amount. Do you guys know how much that amount would be, or a ballpark?
On his contract?
Yeah.
So we would have to trade for him, and then he's already he has about a 25. He might get cut, maybe. So he has a $25 million contract. Four's already been paid out to him. So we would essentially have 21 that we have to go ahead and pay him, and then that's not including the rest of the years, which is a pretty hefty contract.
Right.
Obviously, I think the strategy would be for SpyTech to go ahead and restructure that deal to have it be more team friendly, and I think we would probably get a more team friendly deal having him wanting to be a Raider for such a long time. Yes, exactly. So it's not like we're just going out. We're not getting out somebody else that is a really good player. This guy wants to be a Raider. He wanted to be drafted by the Raiders, just didn't happen, and wanted to come over. It just hasn't happened. But this year, it looks like the stars are kind of lining up towards that. I don't want to jinx it, but it may or may not happen. But it's looking more probable than prior years. In prior situations that he may come over to the Raiders. I think it's us and probably I think another two teams that are possible landing spots for him post June 1st.
So as of right now, it's looking like how Jay said, you're gonna have to pay him around 21 to 24, right? As of right now. Right, just if you were to just acquire him and get him all that. Now, this is the thing: everybody been waiting for June 1st, and that's because if the Dolphins cut him, I think it's less. What is it? Less money to cut him at that point, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
less money to cut him at that point. So then, okay, for sure. So say if he gets cut, then at that point you can sign him to whatever, right? You can pretty much sign him to whatever it is, and say if it's a team friendly deal. Now I'm looking at the list of cornerbacks, right? Of who's the top 10 highest paid? He's third right now, right? But pretty much you'd probably bump that down if you'd say you want to take a more team friendlier deal. He probably signed for somewhere around 20 to 19, where Marlon Humphrey is, if that's where you want to get him at. If you could hope to get him there, right? But either way, I'd still do that because I know.
Do you think he would do that, being that he's always wanted to be a Raider? Obviously, we're not a contending team just yet, and he knows it's going to be a few years until that actually occurs. And being that he's on, maybe I don't want to call it the back end of his career, but he already has some years in. Do you think he would have that patience to do that, or does he have a I need to win now mentality because I don't have too much time left?
And this is where you would have to speak to him about it and see what his mindset was. For me personally, if he was open to saying nah, I just want to be here, be a Raider, I'm definitely doing that, bro. Because at the end of the day, look at his measurables, look at the type of corner he is, look at the type of corners we have. We need a sort of mentor in a way.
Yes.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. If I can get Darian Porter getting mentored by Jalen Ramsey, that's all I need, dog. That's all I need. Even let that rub off a little bit on DeCamerion Richardson, if so, dog. Fine. But at the end of the day, bro, that's the perfect guy. Pete Carroll can do all that he can, and the DB coach can do all they can. But it's different when you getting it from a all pro. Pretty much, he's probably gonna go to the Hall if he keeps going on this pace. You know what I mean? You're getting it from that type of player. So
it's kind of like back in the day. Back in the day, Jerry Porter, he had Tim Brown and Jerry Rice. He was learning it from the best of the best. So
you just let them go ahead, bro. You let him mentor them. I would definitely do that, bro. And then even so, if you wanted to say let him play a little bit of safety, put him back there if he can do it. right? It just gives you all type of versatility, in my opinion. I mean, and it just makes our defense that much better. It gives us more star power, right?
Mhm.
When you're saying if our D line don't play well, then what's going to happen? At least we know there's a dude back there that he can hold his own in certain
Right.
spots. Now, he's not what he once was,
Of
but
course not.
I agree with God, family, Raiders, and for life, bro. I think he has a good solid 2 years of good cornerback play that we've seen. Good solid 2 years. Maybe even 3
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah, going out and getting Jalen literally boasts your defense instantly. There's no threshold or anything. It's just like
No.
immediate. So the benefit of going out and getting a guy like Jalen Ramsey, rather not get him on a trade. Hopefully, if he does become available, he does get cut by the Dolphins. I think we should definitely go out and get him. I mean, the price tag is high, but looking at kind of the situation, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. Guy wants to be a Raider. We need a really solid corner, and I think it's a mutually beneficial situation to go ahead and bring in Jalen, right? And you're looking at a deal anywhere from about on a team friendly, probably 18 to 20. You're not going to get anything below that, realistically. You know, I don't care. I don't care what it is. I mean, a guy like Jalen, there's a certain market value for these guys, right? And his market value is between that 18 to about 25, $28 million range, right?
Yep.
That's what you're looking at.
18 to 20.
Yeah, so 18 to 20 for us is going to be really team friendly, right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I would
We
definitely
have cap space. Like we'll have top 5 cap space going into next year. Remember, we're not paying high top 10 quarterback money, right? Look what the 49ers just paid Brock Purdy. We're not even paying that. Right? You feel what I'm saying? Like we're not even paying that for Geno. So we're still good. Right. And then even so, think about it. In the next coming years, hopefully, a rookie is going to be a quarterback in here, right? Think about then. Now we have the most cap space that we can have, right? If we can continue to build the team and then insert a rookie into that mug, well, then we ain't got to worry about no cap space at the end of the day. Right now, we're playing it well. All of the contracts we've had so far, everybody we've signed has been smart contracts, smart extensions, even AJ Cole, and we'll talk about that, but smart, right? Like, I just think if we were to get Jalen, it's not going to be one of those things where, oh my God, bro, they signed this stupid ass amount of money and now we're sitting here, we're stuck. Like, I don't think there's going to be anything of that.
Yeah. Shout out to my guy, Raider Jeff. Yep. Facts. Worth every penny if you get him. Yeah, there is no big downside to Jalen. I mean, yes, he's not what he's a little bit older. He's not what he was, but I mean, we're really talking minimal stuff, right?
But he's still a threat, though. That's the thing.
Hell
He's
yeah.
still a threat. He's still
he's a top 10 corner right now. He's still a top 10 corner. I don't care. He might not be a top 5 anymore, but he's a top 10 corner.
Yeah. I mean, you could sign him anywhere from a 2 or 3 year deal, and have him here for as long as you have Pete. And if you're really serious about making the run, which it looks like 26 and 27 is going to be our year, you're going to have Jalen Ramsey here for that time, right? And especially at the most critical moments where you do need a top defense to be able to go ahead and make a playoff contention or make a Super Bowl run, you need a guy like him to be there, right? So I think going out and getting Jalen is definitely going to be worth it. It's going to pay dividends not only in the immediate future but down the line as well. And we're talking about 2 or 3 years down the line, and it's all good. So we'll see whether it's going to be a cut from the Dolphins or we're going to have to go ahead and trade him. Again, you know, we've seen currently this regime not do certain things, so I'm not going to really hold my breath too much about it because we can be wrong at the end of the day and they might not pull the trigger on it.
Yeah, they're very tight with the pocketbook.
They're tight with the pocketbook, but I wholeheartedly think that they're just waiting to see what happens, who becomes available June 1st. So it might still be a possibility for Raider Ramsey connection to really actually happen. So
Hopefully,
yeah.
man. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I would love it.
Yeah. So kind of moving over to the other side of the ball on the flip side. Let's talk about the pressure that we had a couple of days ago, Chip, on Jeanty. I have that clip, so let me go ahead and pull that up. And
I mean, Ashton is as talented a back as, as a young guy coming in the league that I've seen. He's really special. His ability to sustain runs after contact, his contact balance is kind of a really rare quality. He's got a low center of gravity, and I think it's tough to get him down. And normally the first guy doesn't. And, and you look at all of the tape of his games last year, and it didn't matter who he played, because they obviously played the Mountain West, but when he played the Oregons and he played the Penn States, you look at how he performed in those games. And I think sometimes you get caught up in just looking at the numbers, but I think it was like 35 missed tackles he created in the Penn State game. Now, Penn State's defense, we played against them, they're outstanding. That was a little bit different league for Boise at that time, but not for Ashton in terms of what he did. So excited to see him. It's different, obviously, as we know, during OTAs because it's not tackle. We're not taking guys to the ground. I don't think he'll get tackled until we get to our first preseason game. But I'm really excited. The one thing about him is he's a really quick learner. He also had experience there with Dirk Cutter was his offensive coordinator in his last year. Dirk's been a longtime coach in this league, been a head coach in this league, and is a really, really good football guy. So he came in with a good basis and understanding, and so he's done a great job. He really, really excited to work with him. That's I know everybody on the offensive staff was excited when Spy made that selection.
all right. So that was Chip talking about Jeanty, right? And I think the key thing here is obviously he's progressing, but we're not really going to see really any major action until preseason where he actually gets tackled. So they're really making sure that they conserve him. I honestly think we probably wouldn't even really see him probably until the second or third game of the preseason where he'll probably take some snaps. Just to make sure that this guy is really taken care of. But what are you guys' thoughts on Chip talking about Jeanty? Go ahead, Dub. We'll start with you.
I'm sorry?
Go ahead. What are your thoughts
on
Chip?
You know what? I'm initially the whole situation with Chip and Ashton Jeanty kind of rubbed me wrong because the whole position. I'm like, if this dude has done this for X amount of years and he's had success, why are you making it a situation right now? When there hasn't even been a preseason game played, you haven't seen what the positive or the negative, is going to be, but at the end of the day, he's an individual with years of experience, that knows ball, that's seen it, both at a college and at a professional level. So to a certain extent, I have faith in Chip Kelly, but at the same time, I've also heard a lot of negative things that he's brought forth, against players, and players talking really bad about him. So I really don't know how to feel about the situation because obviously this is a different team. There's different leadership, different players, and you can't base how can I put this? You can't base a particular instance that happened in the past to occur again right now because, again, different leadership. He has different bosses, that I know they're not going to allow him to do anything negative towards the players. They have a particular plan for the team, for the players, and I'm hopeful that whatever he's doing for Jeanty and for the team, it would be a positive effect and there would be no negative ripples in the future.
That's I agree where the part is like, at first I didn't like kind of what I was hearing with Chip, and I'm like, bro, what's it's all weird. But then it's like, when he explains it more, it's more about the running back coach saying about it, right? And that's him backing it. And at that point, it doesn't really matter at that point. And that's kind of, I didn't even get into that either about why I probably felt some way about that too, because I'm like, that's just the OC saying like, nah, I want you to change that. Well, how does a running back coach feel? Like, where is the coach with that, right? Like, it's like he does have a position coach. So are they? What's the deal with that? It is, you could say it's finicky. It could be whatever. But the fact that it's the running back coach saying like, nah, I want you to change it, and it's your OC backing it, then at that point, yeah, you do what you got to do. You got to change the stance. You know what I mean? And hopefully that's them two getting together, collaborating, and seeing like, okay, this is why you got to change your stance.
One thing that I do commend Jeanty for his reaction to the situation, because obviously he's a big name. He was picked number 1 for our team, so right. he could have come in as a diva already. Say, man, I'm not changing nothing. This is me. This is how I play. It is what it is. But what did he do? He said, yes, sir. We'll give it a shot. Yep. He didn't create no ripples. I respect that. I definitely respect that in his reaction to that change. So that shows that he's definitely a more mature player coming into the league.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm definitely excited though to see what he does for sure. I'm excited to see him more in the passing game for real. I just want to see that.
Yeah. Having another offensive weapon like that,
exactly.
Especially in the passing game is going to be crucial. So, exactly. But sticking on that on this side of the ball, on the offensive side, obviously we have Geno, and I wanted to go ahead and pull up the video on Geno's take on the offense and what he's heard. What he's already looked at and how he feels about it. So let me go ahead and pull that up real quick.
Myers, Trey Tucker, what do you think of your new weapons here in Las Vegas?
Man, I'm loving it, man. They're making my job tremendously easy to be out here with these young, talented players, man. I think we have a really good team, a really good, array of weapons, and just a bunch of different guys that can do a lot of great things. And so, obviously Brock is who he is. Getting to know Trey, getting to know Jacoby, and watching Michael go out there and make plays. Ashton's coming along. The offensive line's doing a great job. I think Chip is, calling great plays, and it's really easy for me. I just got to go out there and be myself and get the ball into their hands and let them be special.
How would you describe this offense?
I think the offense is, like I say all the time, we want to be efficient. That's the main thing, right? We want to do well in the situations, the third downs, the red zones, but also we want to be explosive, And so when teams come up and play us in man-to-man, we got guys who are going to win those matchups, and I really feel good about where we are. Still a work in progress, but we're in a good spot, and we just got to keep working hard to get better.
I'm glad he said that last part, man. That's what I'm happy about. Explosive. There's too many times I've watched it over the last 2-3 years, and it seems like we just cannot go downfield for the life of us, dog. Like,
I know
by week whatever, by the middle of the season, it seems like teams are just squeezing us in, and now we're just regulated to just inside of the hash marks. We don't go outside the hashes. We don't go downfield, nothing like that, bro. So this year, I want to see that change, man. I want to see teams be scared, have to get back and see how that looks.
Well, yeah, because now hopefully we're gonna have a running game. So
there you go.
They're gonna have to respect that. To where last year they can't run.
Exactly. Who was a real threat last year? Nobody.
Exactly. Now even the year we had Josh Jacobs, we saw a little bit of it right when Devontae was here, and a tad of it. You saw a little bit of kind of us going downfield, what it did. You know what I mean? So I want to get back to that, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
we need it.
You go out and you have guys like Trey Tucker and Dante Thornton that can really stretch the field. And from what I'm hearing so far, I'm hearing a lot of good things from Dante Thornton. So I'm glad he's progressing. It's still a work in progress, but I hope that he'll definitely be competitive when the season starts, when the time really warrants for him to really step up and make those crucial plays and really stretch the ball downfield. So
that's what I'm hoping, man. That's what I'm hoping.
But having guys like Brock Bowers and Jacoby there, and now you have Jack Bash and Jeanty.
Don't forget Michael Mayer. Everybody forgets about Michael.
And he said Michael Mayer too, and he said Michael Mayer, and he's and this is the thing with Michael. You have two abilities with him. You have the protection side of it, and then not only
Right.
that, he can go ahead and catch the ball and make plays and go ahead and get yards after the carry as well. So he can do a lot of what Brock can do. The thing is that Brock is so dynamic and is such a great route runner and has great hands that he just eclipses a lot of people, eclipses most traditional tight ends. And that's why we don't talk about Mayer that much.
It's pretty much over, right? It's pretty much because you talk about you have a talent like Brock Bowers on the squad, you're not getting your job back. We just call a spade, right? You call it a spade. There's no way he gets his job back. But what he can do is become somebody now that's a gadget and somebody that's an X factor, right? Like where it's like, I think I said this before in one of my solo shows or whatever, but him and Trey Tucker to me are the most important pieces of the offense. It's not Ashton Jeanty. It's not Geno Smith, right? It's not Jacoby Myers to me, right? And why am I saying that? Because at this point right now, I hope I should know what I expect from them three dudes on the offensive side, right? I should know what to expect from Geno. I should have a good confidence about it. I have a good confidence what to expect from Jacoby. I have a pretty good confidence of what to expect from Ashton if everything goes the way it's supposed to go, right? Or what I should see from Ashton if it goes the way it's supposed to go. But if Trey Tucker and Mayer can become some players where other teams are like, God damn it, we got to try to do something. Or even Brock Bowers, right? You can put Brock Bowers because we know what we're supposed to get from Brock Bowers. There's no questions. But if other teams now got to put that in their minds where it's like, God damn, now we got to look at Michael Mayer. It's like, all right, bro, like where's he gonna be at if he's over here? All right, now Trey Tucker's in the game. All right, now we got to scheme around that. What are we gonna do? That just creates more and more confusion, bro. Like just and then you even add Dante Thornton in there, Jack Bash. I haven't even talked about them, right? But so it's like we know what to expect from the big dogs, but it's all about all the other guys, just like basketball. We're watching basketball right now. So we know what to expect from SGA and, Jalen Brunson and all that extra, but where the bench at? You feel what I'm saying? It's all about the bench. We got to see what they provide.
And I think this year, Mayer and Tucker are definitely going to be, they're going to have their opportunities because they're the ones that are more than likely going to end up being open, because the coverage is going to go to all the big names. So this is when they need to shine because they know like, okay, who am I going to cover? Let's say if they run a 2 tight end set, am I going to cover Bauer or am I going to cover Mayer? Like they're going to go after Bauer. So Mayer needs to take those opportunities. Tucker, the same thing, with the wide receiver position, so this is when we need these guys to show the reason why they were brought into the league. They need to show up and show out.
And we didn't even talk about Geno. I mean, you got all these guys, and literally Geno's out here putting, our division and most of the league on notice, saying, "Hey, you know what? You can go ahead and try to cover as a man, but we're going to go ahead and beat you." You still have, let's say they do cover, but you still have Geno that can go ahead and make plays on his feet. And that's a great thing. Is he going to do that all the time? No, he's not. But you have that ability. He's done it before, and
there's that option.
There's that option. There was a clip that I didn't play it, but there's a part where Chip says, you got Geno, where literally he had that game-winning touchdown versus the Niners last year. He has that ability to make plays on his feet, and that's another weapon that you have. So our offense is really starting to take shape. But I wanted to go ahead and also get Jacoby's take on Geno, and this is what he had to say. And I'm going to go ahead and
so far with Geno.
Cool. Geno a dog, man. I like Geno a lot. It's been real fun seeing the way he spin it, seeing the way he go about his business. He beat me in here every day, which is cool. Like he know all the play calls, so when I mess up, he can help me out. Like he a nice vet to have around. So I appreciate Geno.
What has it been like working with Geno Smith, in terms of just the way that he throws, his kind of mannerisms? What have you kind of taken from him so far?
He a vet, honestly. I think I truly mean that. And I feel like this is the first time where I've had it in a minute. Like I had Tom for a year. Like that was a cool experience. But like having Geno, it kind of brings in a sense of stability, if that makes sense. Like like I said, he know what he doing. He show up the same every day. Like his personality seem the same every day. I haven't seen him have a bad day yet.
There you go. That's the key word there. Stability. I wanted to play that part.
Yep.
For everybody who talks about having AOC here, having him be the guy, it's having a guy like Jacoby Meyer who's been in the league for quite a while. He's gone through the same shit as AOC. For a guy like that saying, hey, he brings that stability here, that says a lot. And so I'm glad that it looks like the offense is really gelling together and everybody's getting on the same page. That's what you want. So I'm glad to hear that from Jacoby. But you guys, let me know what you guys' thoughts on what Jacoby said here on Geno.
Yeah, how you thinking, Doug?
Well, I'm. It's great to hear that there is definite cohesion so early on. You know that they're at least politically everything sounds nice. You know they're talking nice. They're playing well. They're getting along. You know my feeling is that I hope this continues to the regular season. You know, when they put on the pads, when they start getting hit, when there's opposing teams, you know, that they are on the same page as they are now and are going to continue to be. And it shows, you know, because when they start playing well, we start winning games. When we start winning games, more Raider fans show up. And we start getting that home field advantage. We start getting that hype. We start getting that excitement and electricity. You know,
there you go.
And it's kind of like a yin and yang. You know, they give us good, we give them good back. They give us energy, we give them energy back. You know, and so far with everything that all the Raiders that you've put up right now have said, you know, it's good. It's positive. And that's definitely what we need as Raider fans and as the Raider organization. We need positivity, you know, and I just hope this continues, you know, and it gets better and everybody starts getting on the same page, you know, in an appropriate time. And the big one, everyone stays healthy, you know, they condition, because that, to me, I'm not going to lie to you guys, that's my biggest fear, is just players getting injured. Because that has nothing to do with ability. That has nothing to do with you know, with where you got drafted or how much money you're getting paid. You know, they're still human and they can get hurt. And we don't need that right now, because right now we're on an upward slope, you know, from I don't want to say hitting rock bottom, but close to it. You know, now we're working our way back up. And, you know, I think everything that they're putting out there right now, you know, it's a good sign. It's a good sign for the organization and for us as Raider fans.
Yeah, I agree. My kind of two thoughts on it is like, one, after that press conference, it made me like Jacoby a little more, man. I ain't gonna lie, you know, just hearing him talk a little more, I see the mindset a little bit more. I feel like we got to re-sign him. I ain't gonna lie. I just, you know, I feel like he just brings a certain mindset that you don't see a lot, especially from that type of position, right? For that type of position where it looks like it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. It doesn't matter what the situation is. I'm gonna go out there and just do my job, right? Just find me. I'm gonna do my job. And I like that, right? So with Jacoby, and that's not saying, you know, sometimes that, you know, even with a little bit, sometimes with a diva, it's okay, but just more times than not, I do like that type of mindset that Jacoby has. So I think we gotta extend him. That's number one. But number two, man, just now it seems like you got a steady presence, like you saying, man, just somebody that's steady, right? Like now you can come in there and be like, all right, I know what I'm gonna get from this dude. Again, we just talked about it, right? I know what I'm gonna get from Geno, right? So maybe there might be a couple hiccups here and there, right? But if everything is where, right. But if the line plays how they're supposed to play, if we run the right routes where we're supposed to run them, the ball will be there. Right. And as a player, sometimes, bro, just having that peace of mind right there is all the difference in the world. Think about it, like from the last 2 years to now. Last 2 years, like y'all was saying, you could be like, well, shit, I don't know where the ball gonna be. I just gotta make a play. You feel what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't even know if the play call that I'm running, I'm confident in. You feel what I'm saying? Because homeboy then got fired, or I was originally I was calling the plays, and now I'm running some other dude's scheme that just made this shit last week. So
Right.
at the end of the day, bro, I don't know how confident I am running the scheme. Now you have Chip Kelly, you got Geno. So now it's like, oh yeah, bro, I know what he's calling. Like he done dialed this up. You know what I mean? Like Chip done dialed this up. All right, cool. Now I know if I run this route here at exactly 10 yards, I make my cut here, boom, the ball gonna be right here. I know what time it is. Bro, as a player, you take all that thoughts out, and now all you're doing is just boom, I'm here. That just adds more ticks of being able to put that quick twitch on somebody, right? And just play football. So I think now we'll be able to see a little bit more. And hot take, man. I think the offense is gonna be better than the defense this year. I ain't gonna lie.
Definitely.
I do.
I'm gonna jot that one down.
I think the offense is gonna be better than the defense. I kind of think the defense is gonna take a little step back, to be honest.
It's starting to look that way, that the defense is going to take a little bit of a step back this year, especially having certain positions having a question mark at the moment, right? Middle linebacker, corner, we still don't know what's really going to pan out and look like. Safety, that might be a room that might just need to be buttoned up a little bit more, right? So we know the trenches are good, even if Christian Wilkins does not start the year, right? It doesn't start the season. But the offense is really what is, I think, and what I've heard so far, the great improvement in this offseason. A lot of people are talking about us, saying like, hey, the Raiders are have improved a lot this year is because of the offense. But you got to think about it, how atrocious that we were last year, right? Yeah. Where we couldn't run the ball to save our life. We couldn't run it from the 1 yard line to literally inches to literally hit a touchdown. So
there was no fear
there was no fear. Yeah. and so I think this year it's a totally different look. I'm glad to see that everybody is on the same page. Now, I know Rosetown kind of mentioned he might not be here this next season, 26. I think he probably would be here because I totally forgot that he has a relationship with Brady. They played together for a season, and that does count. You just had Jacoby come off last season with 1,000 yards, 0 drop rate. He's not going to repeat that. He's not going to repeat the 1,000 yards. There's no way. There's too many weapons. But even if you have a good 500 to 600 yard season with a less than 0.3 drop rate, I mean that's the best that you can hope for.
I think he can still get close. I mean, because we don't know what Bish is.
That's his expectation, though, right? You know, that's what we expect from Jacoby Myers. We don't expect 1,000-yard seasons. You know, we expect anywhere from 500 to 800 yards. You know,
we'll see.
A few touchdowns.
This is where I'll disagree. I do, because at the end of the day, if I'm going to argue, right, that we need a number one, like this is the thing, because I argue with Turf all the time. Shout out my guy Turf. He's always saying Jacoby is a low tier number 2 receiver. He don't even say number 1. He say number 2. Right. So if you're going to argue against that, you're going to say, I need him to get 1,000 yards like he did last year. Right. To prove again, he's a number 1. This year is real pivotal for him. Right. There's kind of and this is, I hate to say it, bro, because like always with the business shit, it sounds like you're hating, but like there might be a little bit of, well, we got to kind of see what it is with him in the front office, because he's only had technically 1,000 yard season in his entire career. Right. So at that point, that don't scream number 1 receiver. So for him as an individual player this year, he's got to show like, I am a number 1 receiver. In order to do that, you have to get 1,000 plus. That's the only way. Right. Or there's always going to be that window of saying, well, there might be this dude in the draft where we might like that's bigger, faster, and younger. Then we can say, well, that might, you know what I mean? Because I guarantee you, now this is at the upper end, but we were even talking about Tech McMillan this year, right? Shit, if we had any possibility to get one of them young receivers coming out of college from Alabama or Ohio State, I guarantee you they will probably do that. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I'd probably do it. If you could tell me that I can get some capital for Jacoby and trade that in for a Ryan Williams or a Jeremiah Smith, you got them right. Right. But that just shows the difference of where you would say, like, I think them dudes can be bona fide. No question. number one, right? Where we're still questioning Jacoby in what year? I don't know what year this is. What
For
year?
us, 3, right?
For him, year 3 for him, but year for him, like he damn near going on 7 at this
Right.
point, right?
Yeah.
Like, so it's been a minute. So I do want him to prove that he is the number 1 receiver, but in order to do that, he's got to get over 1,000. There's no
And do you feel he is a number 1 receiver? Honestly,
when you go of the technical route, like if you look at the number 1 receivers in the league, top 5 receivers, he's not in that category, right? If you go Jamar Chase, if you put him there, Justin Jeffersons of the world, the Tyreek Hills of the world, like he's not there, right? You put him lower, you probably put him on the 2nd tier if he can creep up there with Nico Collins and them and dudes like that, right? Of the 2nd tier of quarter. If he's a number 1, he's a low tier number 1. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
If you're saying he's a number, like if he was a number 2 with Devontae, I'd say, well, he's a high tier number 2, right, where you can put with T Higgins and all them, and put, well, really T Higgins is a number 1 receiver for real. But
yeah,
still put him down. He's a high tier, but I don't think he's a high tier number 1. If he was, he's probably low tier.
Yeah, because I still see him as a number 2, you know. But
and that's the thing. If you're saying that, then you're saying Brock Bowers is the number 1.
Yeah, and that's the problem, is that because we don't have that number 1, you know, he has to fill in those shoes until we either pick somebody up or we draft somebody next year.
And that's the thing, right? You're always going to with him. You're always going to question the like, what can I get? You know, as far as the upper echelon, what's the ceiling, right? What's the above ceiling? Like you look at Jacoby, you can say, okay, the ceiling for that is whatever. And why do you think so many people are riding the Dante Thornton bus right now? Because the ceiling is crazy, right? If you can say, well, if I can just get this 6'4", 4'3" running dude to run crisp routes, well, shit. You know what I mean? Like, well, look what you have there. But at the end of the day, when you look at Jacoby Myers, you don't have, that's not that type of measurables, right? You just get steady, right? Yeah. Even with Jack Best to a degree, you get steady. And Turf opened my eyes a little bit, and it did scare me a tad. Right? When he did say, well, if you technically look at it, Besh and Myers kind of have the same type of game if you look at it, right? Like technically they do. If you want to say how they play the game, they play the same similarly. Besh is a little bigger, right? I would say Jacoby runs better routes, crisper routes, but it technically is the same type of game. So if you could say Besh has a good season, right, and he has a real good season, and you're like, okay, well, this dude's real deal. Could you see the Raiders saying, well, you know, I probably could get something for Jacoby or save that bread here, maybe try to get somebody of bigger name here, right, and say, well, I got Besh and let him go. Could you see them doing that?
I don't know, man.
Maybe it's a possibility, right? And in this league, anything is a possibility.
Besh would have to have a good season for you to do that.
He would have to have a phenomenal rookie season, and
we have to have a good season for you to do that.
Really impress everybody on his route running, you know, because we know what he can do. Yeah. He can catch the ball, right? Yeah. The dude can catch the ball, but it's really what you do to create the separation and what you do after the catch. So if he really continues on his yards after carry and really gets big gains or is able to break away from tackles and really put up the numbers as far as touchdown wise, I think that might be a possibility. But on year 1, I think we're going to see solid performance. Yeah, on year 1, I think we see solid performance from him, and just kind of he goes through the motions of really learning what it is to be a receiver in this league. I think Jacoby sticks around for a little while. That's my opinion. Yeah, that's my opinion. I think he sticks around for another 2 seasons here with us in 2027.
I agree.
And just kind of see how that plays out. He wants to be
how he fits.
Yeah.
You know, more important is how he's going to fit our offense. You know, because as good as he can be, if he doesn't fit, you know, and other players start excelling, they unfortunately got to show him the door.
Right.
You know, but right now, the way we sit, you know, better to have some than none. Better to have mid than nothing. You know?
Right.
So,
right. Especially after last year.
Oh, definitely. I would take this all day, especially because we know Jacoby is not going to cause any waves. He's not going to be an issue. He's going to do what he needs to do.
That's what I like, though.
And that's it. And that is sometimes, I don't want to say it's more important than having an elite player, but it's up there to where if you have a player that's willing and able to do what you require him to do, sometimes
you
that's
can't be
good
too
enough.
mad at that, bro. Yeah, you can't be too mad. Like I said at the beginning, and this is all just talk at the end of the day.
Of
This
course,
is stuff to feel. But still, if it's up to me though, first thought and process would be getting him extended, at least for, like Jay said, another 2 years. Right. Get him extended for another 2 years. Let's see what this rookie class can do. Maybe we have a chance to get something else up in here through the draft or whatever, right? And then we'll see how that extends. But as of right now, he's our best receiver right now, and he's our veteran. So I definitely do that.
And he's definitely gonna bring forth great leadership.
Exactly. If I had anybody learning from a vet, that's the vet I'd want my rooks to learn from for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Really quick, how we doing on time run?
I get out of here in a couple minutes.
All right, let me go ahead and kind of push through. Really quick, appreciate everyone pulling up with us on the Saturday morning. If you guys haven't done so, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button on all the channels. Hit them thumbs. It really goes a long way to go ahead and support the shows. But really quick on the news side of it, AJ Cole did get extended earlier this week. He did get a $15 million deal, just over $15 million with $11 million guaranteed, I think, for the next 4 seasons. So he's going to be with us until 2029. That's really when he becomes a free agent. I'm glad that deal has happened. He's literally considered probably the top 3, if not the best punter in the NFL. What are your thoughts, really quick, Dub, on AJ Cole getting extended?
Well, I'm actually excited that he did. I was surprised though, because it came out of the blue. All of a sudden, AJ Cole got re-signed, highest paid punter, and I was like, okay, where did this come from? But at the end of the day, it was a good move by the organization. Because he is probably one of our best players on the field. He does what he has to do. He pushes the team back when he kicks that ball. He has some amazing punts, and I think it was definitely a good move by the organization. Surprising to me, but I think it was great that they did re-sign him and we have him for the long term.
Yeah, for sure.
100%. That's where I'm at, man. Just get him for the long term, man. I've already said I think you're the best punter in the league. I mean, that's just facts to me.
He's had a lot of practice.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not even gonna lie, man. I think he's even kept us from losing a couple games. Sometimes too, man. He didn't help us. He didn't help us win some games with his punting. So I think he's the best punter in the league for sure. If you don't think so, you might think he's 2, but he's definitely top 3. There's no debate on that. I think he has a chance to be one of the best punters in the history of the organization if he continues, right? And I'm talking about up there with the Lecklers and the Ray guys and all that. If he goes on the trajectory, if he continues on the path that he's on, if he continues to punt like this well into some years, bro, you goddamn right. There's no debate in my opinion. He can be one of the best punters in organization history. So I'm definitely happy for that, and I'm happy for what he said. He said, "Yeah, bro, I want to retire here." There's no debates on that. That's where I want to be. So I love when players say that too.
Definitely,
for sure.
He wants to be here.
Yeah. I'm glad he got.
Hey, I'm sorry. That was funny as fuck. That one was funny as hell. Oh shit!
Well, I'm glad he got extended. Obviously, there's still some other guys that are in line to possibly get extended. Holton Miller. You got forgetting another name. Damn. I know Darren Carlson's also on there. Jacoby's on there. My bad. We just talked about him. Jacoby's on there. So I think it's going to happen. I think those guys are going to get extended. It might happen any day. It really could happen next week. Could happen next month. Could happen right before training camp or during training camp.
Colton is my
Mid-season.
priority, bro. I'd do
Colton
Colton immediately.
Yeah, that's the thing. Making sure that we secure up that left tackle, and those left tackles don't grow on trees. It's really really hard to come by offensive players, and if they do, they get snatched up pretty quick.
Right.
And it is a bidding war because the continuity it's so important on that offensive line. So, but I'm glad to see that AJ did get extended. And then obviously this is one of the topics I didn't want to bring up. June 1st cuts, literally tomorrow, June 1st. So is there anybody you guys think that would possibly be cut by the Raiders that's not going to be part of this roster anymore? Any key names?
I'm not gonna lie, I really don't know. I haven't been keeping up too much on what's been happening as far as the OTs and whatnot. So I'm not really sure. I'm just hoping, and I definitely have faith in the front office, because they've showed us everything that they're doing is for the betterment of the team, to make us a better team, a more cohesive team, and a team that maybe not immediately, but is definitely going to be better in the future. So whatever they decide at this point, it's going to have to go on faith, and hopefully they're making the right decisions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I got a couple names in mind, man. Look, Dylan Lowry one. That'd be one where I'm like, I don't know. Maybe or maybe not make the squad. Thayer Mumford to be another one where I don't know, you know what I mean? They just got Charles Grant. So they probably want to see him develop into that swing tackle, right? As until he can take over for Colton, I would assume.
Right.
So you're looking at that. There's a couple of dudes. Let's see on defense. You got a couple of dudes in the linebacker room that's fighting for their lives. That need to start showing some improvement, right? I would say you're probably looking at Amari Gaynor. Hopefully he shows improvement. I don't think he gets cut. I think he's gonna actually make the squad. But one of them, Tommy or Lindenberg, I think one of them Bergs ain't gonna make it. I think one of them Bergs ain't gonna make it. Because one was a 7th round pick, one was just drafted last year, late round, right? So it's like we'll see how that goes. In the safety room, Chris Smith, man, I like Chris Smith, but I want to see if he can do something because they just got Trey Taylor, right? They just got Lonnie Johnson, I believe that's his name. He's playing safety now. So he's big, he's tall, he fits that mold. So want to see what they do. And then they got Chin and Palomao, so he doesn't really look like he fits the mold. So I want to see kind of where he fits up too.
Yeah, I think Smith is literally on the bubble. I mean, you can possibly put Trey Taylor, depending. I don't know if he's healthy. I hope he's healthy because we haven't really seen anything from that guy since he got drafted. He was injured all of last year, so this is his year 2. Essentially, this is his real rookie year going into gameplay. But I really haven't heard anything from him. Maybe Eichenberg is on the bubble as well. I think Gaynor into the scrapes by and makes the squad. I don't think Lindenberg will get cut just because we went on and got him in the 7th round. It doesn't necessarily mean they won't do it, but I think they want to go ahead and keep that kid around and see what he can actually do. I think he'll have a little bit more leeway than others. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see who won't make the June's 1st cuts for sure. But let me kind of switch it over to the other side. Is there any possibility of certain? We talked about Jalen Ramsey, right, being part of that June 1st cut to be in pickup. Is there anybody that you guys would like to see that possibly gets cut that we probably go after?
Love. Jalen Ramsey, man. That's it.
Yeah. Jalen and maybe a number 1 wide receiver, vet presence. That's really about it.
Yeah. I mean, usually for guys that get cut around June 1st, I mean, it's either the performance wasn't there,
Right.
or the injuries is just a problematic thing, right?
Right.
So that's kind of what we're looking at for June 1st. But I hope it is Jalen that does get cut. Sometimes good guys do get cut for salary cap, and that would be the situation for him, right? They're in serious cap hell down in Miami, so it makes sense for them to go ahead and kind of cut ties with him. So if it does happen, it'll probably be a guy like Jalen Ramsey. So we'll see what happens with that. But let's go ahead and switch over to our final segment. But before we do, shout out to SC with the $2 super sticker. Appreciate you, my guy. Thanks for that really quick.
Good looks, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. But let me go ahead and switch over to our final segment here, the spotlight. This is the time where we get to go ahead and really get to know our guests. We've done it for the last few episodes. So on this week's episode, obviously we got Dub Reader here. So and we got to chop it up in Bakersfield, but let me go a little bit more kind of in depth with you really quick. Sorry, I lost my check. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. How long you been a Raider fan? And then was there anything specific that kind of made you fall in love with the silver and black?
I've actually been a Raider fan since the 80s when they were here in LA. The pivotal moment for me, I was in elementary school at the time. I'm much older than you guys. And
I don't think that you're that much older than me, but
I'm 51, bro.
I'm almost behind you, bro. Not
what, you're like 30 something?
I wish, but thank you.
But so I was in elementary school, right? And you know how most teams when they come into a community, they do a lot of community outreach and whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't know how it happened. I don't know if one of the teachers or administrators at our elementary school had some association with the Raiders, but they showed up to our school, and the player that showed up was none other than Lyle Alzado.
Oh,
so to me, I knew about football, but as a kid, how much do you really know, right? That the big men that jump on each other and hit each other and throw a ball, but I got to meet him, got to see this mountain of a man in front of me, and I was like, man, I was impressed, right? And the thing that I will never forget is how gentle he was. Watching him after the fact on the field and how aggressive he was, and all the Roy situation and whatnot, but how gentle he was with the kids, how friendly, how just it was so awesome to be in his presence, and then seeing what he did with his career, and unfortunately his passing, but he's the one that solidified me as a Raider fan, and fast forward to, I will want to say, my late teens, I was able to go to my first Raider game at the Coliseum, which turned out to be the last Raider game at the Coliseum. It was the Raiders Chiefs, so I got to see the Raiders play their last game here at the Coliseum. Got to see Marcus Allen play his last game, Montana play his last game. It was just a very memorable experience. And that kind of stuck with me. And obviously later on in life, I started getting more into football, more into Raider football more than anything. And, it became a passion for me. I started loving it since that day, and till this day, I don't know if you can see it right here. I got my Lyle Alzado jersey.
Fire.
I was right to him. Lyle was the man for me, even though he didn't start as a Raider, but he epitomized what a Raider player should be from those days, of course.
Yeah. Nice. Let me ask you this, and I know every diehard fan has one. And we're sticking on the same subject. Who's your favorite Raider of all time?
All time, I'd have to say Lyle.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And again, he's not a Charles Woodson. He's not a Ray Guy. He's not, he's not these big names that had a long historic career with the organization. But the time he was there, man, he did so much, and he ingrained that into me, that you can be as hard and as mean as you want, at the right times, but you could also be a gentle, nice individual when need be,
Right.
and he showed me that he was so aggressive on the field, but off the field, he was the nicest guy. So to me, Lyle Alzado, obviously number 2 would be Tim Brown.
Yeah,
because
all
he
right,
I
was,
think
there
that's
you go.
everybody's.
he was
that's
the Raider,
definitely
and
on my
I
list.
got to see him play a lot.
Nice. Yes.
So definitely my number 2 is Timmy Brown, but number 1 definitely, what is it? 3 Mile Lyle.
Yeah, there you go.
3
There you
Mile
go.
Lyle.
Shout out to Myra on our $5 special. Shout out to
Myra.
these solid guys, Rundown, Dub, and Jay. Have a great weekend. Cheers to
Man,
June.
appreciate you.
Girl.
Hey,
Yeah,
fellas,
thanks for pulling up.
I definitely want to coin this term for Myra. She is definitely the first lady of the Raider Nation.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
Myra supports, loves everything having to do with the Raider Nation. So shout out to you, Myra. It was great actually meeting you in person at the summer kickoff this year. And thanks for coming straight up and talking to me, hanging out with me. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. Run. You want to go ahead and
Yeah. So, I always ask this question, and this is a question I always like to get, the answer to. But as far as the content journey, man, your content journey, what has been the hardest and most challenging thing for you? And then at the same time, what has been kind of the most, fun thing about it so far with the content?
Well, the most difficult portion for me personally is that thing right there, the camera. Because I'm a very outgoing individual, but when it comes to people, to talking to people, interacting. But when you're sitting in front of a camera, it's like talking to a freaking robot. There's no interaction, there's no effect that you see.
That's real.
So that was the difficult portion for me. But what I started doing is started thinking about it as not looking into a camera, but a portal into a conversation with somebody through the camera. Just like what we're doing right now. My mindset changes. Instead of just focusing on the camera and just looking at it and trying to talk to it, I'm talking to you guys through the camera. So that took some time to get used to. What I love about content creating and having these shows and whatnot is you guys interacting with you, meeting more of the Raider Nation that are like-minded, that do similar things, that have their points of view. Obviously we agree and disagree in occasion, but at the end of the day, we're all Raider fans,
Exactly.
and we're all doing it for the betterment of the Raider Nation. And that to me is my goal with everything that I do. That's why my tagline is for the nation, by the nation, because that's what we do. What we're doing, at least in my eyes, I'm not doing it to get rich. I'm not doing it to get popular. I'm doing it so when I die, the Raider Nation continues. There is generations after me that are going to continue supporting this team and supporting our nation.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Facts. Let me ask you, Dub. Tell us what do you have going on right now? Anything that the audience should be looking out for? Any collabs or any big content that you're going to be bringing out?
Well, yeah. As you guys know, some of you might not know, I actually have 3 shows going on right now. It all started with the Raider Nation Roll Call, which basically what I do on that show is I promote the Raider Nation. I promote individuals like yourselves, content creators, super fans, booster clubs, Raider businesses, and I'm even incorporating Raider educators and individuals of business, administrators and whatnot that have incorporated the commitment to excellence, the Raider mystique, everything that we believe into their daily lives of business or education or whatever it is that they do, because I want the audience to know, I want the Raider Nation to know that there's more to the Raider Nation than just being a fan of football. This actually encompasses the individuals that we become. We take little keys from what we see on the field and the examples that players, coaches, and anybody else involved in the Raider organization, we take it to heart and we learn from that, and then we give that back. And that's definitely one of the things that I like to do with the Raider Nation Roll Call is put that forth, not necessarily to talk about me, to talk about Raider football, but talk about the individuals and what they do and how they're promoting the Raider Nation to the larger audience via social media. The second one, which started about 2 months ago, because I noticed that the algorithm wasn't too friendly with me, with the roll call, because I wouldn't put content out there on a consistent basis. It was once a month or something like that, because it all depends on the availability of the guests. So sometimes life occurs, and you can't sit down at the same time. And then I'm not really good at running a live stream, so I record everything. So it was taking a long time. So my boy Chris, Protect the Shield, shout out, my brother. I hope you like the gifts that I sent you. I hit him up and I'm like, hey, bro, would you be interested in doing a show with me? What I want to cover is not what you guys do, because you guys go in depth, as far as when it comes to football, the probabilities, the statistics, all that kind of stuff. And there's a lot more Raider fans like myself, which I like to call couch coaches, which know football from what they see on the screen or what they see from their seats, at the stadium, to where they don't really understand that information in depth. So I asked him, I'm like, hey man, can we do a show together? He's like, of course, brother. Let's get it done. So we have the Raider Nation Weekly Wire, which we drop once a week on Sundays. And what we basically cover is just basic news of what's happened during the week. It's called Chris's Weekly Word. So we just talk about what happened that week. But then we also have the second segment, which is Football 101. And what we do in Football 101 is we break down the different items and different positions of what football encompasses, which we've already done: the offensive line, defensive line, the positions. The next one, we're going to do special teams. We did coaches. So just to kind of give a better understanding of what football is about for those individuals that don't really have that knowledge or have that experience. Because there's a lot more of us that have that mindset that definitely want to watch your guys' shows and understand what you're saying. Because I'm not gonna lie, when I first started watching your guys' show rundown, the TRS, in some of the things I'd be like, damn, I have to Google that shit. What do they say? Like, oh yeah, okay. And then now I see what they mean. And that's the mindset I brought forth towards the Weekly Wire is to give that understanding, And I ask always, if there's anything that anybody wants to know, hit us up, let us know, and we will definitely cover it. And then finally, my third show, which is Stogie Nation. I actually started this with MC Raider back in the day. This is actually, we met. MC Raider and I met at a cigar lounge over here by my house. We chopped it up. We ended up doing a review of a cigar. And that's what actually got me started, in the whole content creating, because we're both very big cigar aficionados. We love smoking cigars. And, last year, the Raiders brought it forth to where, smoking shit, talking shit the Raider way. So we're like, let's start something. So what we started doing is we would do cigar reviews, lounge reviews, and talk Raider ball. But fortunately, MC Raider has just blown up in the comedy world. So he is a hard man to track down.
I know, bro. I've been trying to get my boy for a minute now. I'm trying to get him on the show, and he's like, "Well, I don't know. I'll let you know."
Yeah, he's very busy, and I understand that, and I commend him. Shout out MC Raider. Him and Cheeto Linus and Chris were the ones that actually gave me my start, with content creating, opened the doors for me, had me as guests, just kind of like you, appreciate that. But unfortunately, because of MC Raider's busy schedule, I still wanted to continue doing the Stogie Nation, because I have a lot of cigars to review, a lot of lounges to visit, that's more of a personal thing, but I want to bring it forth to the Raider Nation.
Yeah.
So I met another Raider brother. He goes by the name of Legacy of the Shield. His name's Pedro. Shout out Pedro.
Oh yeah, he was
Yeah,
just
he
in the
was
chat, man.
in
Shout
here.
out, shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he put some fire content on TikTok. He's a historian. He talks Raider ball, and he has this energy to him that when I saw that, I was like, man, I want to work with this kid. So I reached out to him. We started talking, and last week we recorded our first episode of Stogie Nation together, and it's dropping.
Okay.
Actually, it's dropping on Monday. We're doing a review of a very economical cigar, like an entry-level cigar for individuals that want to get into the hobby. We chop it up about the cigar, about its history, and about the process, but also talk a little Raider history, a little Raider ball. And
Right.
That's really our goal. It's just to get the information out there, have fun doing it, and meet other like-minded individuals, that support, love, and have the passion for the Raider Nation. So that's everything that I do. And also like to give a shout out to my booster club, TNBC, the Raider Nation Booster Club from LA. We're bringing it up. We're definitely going to be hosting some watch parties, some events. And if you guys are interested in joining, hit me up. We're definitely always open to welcoming new brothers and sisters to our organization. So shout out to them. But yeah, man, that's basically my content creating life in a nutshell. At the end of the day, I have love and passion for the Raiders and the Raider Nation more than anything, because I consider you guys my family, even though,
Of course.
we only see each other via social media, on most of the time. But you know what? We all, I think, are part of this great family, which is known as the Raider Nation. And, I love it. And I thank you guys for having me today.
Of course,
Yeah,
man.
sure. I
Hey,
appreciate
I've
you
been
pulling
meaning
up.
to get you on the show myself, man. But just seeing what you do with Chris and seeing the roll call stuff, like I said, man, at the beginning of the show. But it's always respect to your content and what you do, man, because I love what you do.
Appreciate it, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I can't do what you guys do, man. I can't. So I'm like, what can I do? What 2 cents can I put into this?
Hey, you definitely putting in 2 cents and then some, man. Definitely.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and
Thanks for
fellas,
pulling up.
don't think I forgot about you. I'm definitely gonna have you guys on the roll call. It's just
Oh yeah.
It's all availability based. And right now, actually, I'm gonna interview Severe next.
Definitely, man. It's always fire when you can get one of the TRS brothers in there, man. So,
For sure.
Do your thing with Severe, man. I definitely know when my time comes, it's gonna be one of them episodes. Just let you know.
There you go. Shout out to our guys.
You're in the LA area now, right?
IE, but yeah.
Okay. See, and that's perfect because I'll go meet you, man. Because I love doing the interviews better in person.
Oh, say less.
It's definitely a different vibe, a different connection when you're in person.
Definitely, I know exactly where to take you to, so don't even worry about it.
Oh, there it is, there, man.
There you go.
Now.
And then we could put Severe's rumor out there that you're a fucking AI.
Yeah.
AI conception,
Severe thinks I'm an AI, so we got to clear that up.
I know, and then my many clones, bro.
And then you got clones out there, so you feel me?
Man, let me know where they at, because I'll put these dudes to work, man. Have them do some things around the house, watch the kids and shit. Like, you take one, I take one. Rotate on the schedule. Yep, exactly, man. I love it. Hey, but I appreciate you pulling up, Dub. It really means a lot to go ahead and take this time on the Saturday morning, chop it up with us, talk some Raider football. Looking forward towards this next season in 2025. Hopefully, we can link up on some games. And I'm gonna be out. Just so y'all know, I'm gonna be out in Phoenix. I'm gonna be at that preseason game versus the Cardinals. So if you guys, anybody's going, let me know. Hit me up, pulling up, and I will most likely be at the home opener and week 2 in Vegas. I got the okay. I just got to go ahead and get them ticks real quick. We're gonna lock it down, but
for sure.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be a good one for sure. So I can't wait to go ahead and meet up and hang out for those games as well. So, but again, I appreciate everyone pulling up with us. on this Saturday morning. Make sure you guys head on over and hit that like and subscribe button for all the channels. I have Dubs pinned down in the description below. For us, it's up on here on the banner and also on the description. Hit them likes. Doesn't cost you anything. It's free. What are you waiting for? Make sure you guys go ahead and tap in. Turn on notifications. We do have another special guest next Saturday. You guys don't want to go ahead and miss out on that one. Of course, we have our solo shows and the other shows that we do during the week as well. Turford Rundown is back. I love it.
Sir. Yes, sir.
You know, the connection will be back next week on Wednesday. I'm going to be on Monday, 5 p.m. with Raiders Unfiltered. So make sure you guys tap in for that. So we will definitely be seeing you guys again real soon. But other than that, that is it for y'all. We're going to go ahead and get up out of here. Again, thanks to our special guest, Dub Raider.
You already know what it is. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button on all the channels, man. Tap in during the week. Feel what I'm saying? For all the solo shows, man, like my boy Jake said. Till then, man, you already know what time it is. We're going to tap in with y'all next week with another 5-1. Appreciate you, Dub, for pulling up as always, man.
Thank you, fellas.
Yeah, appreciate you. All right. So till next time, nation. Peace.
Peace.
What up, Lo? What is good? What is none other than our guy,